So
I want to
we're
give a shout out to.
gonna get into this.
You know, I just want to continue I just want to continue to keep giving a shout out to all the bosses out there. And what I mean by bosses means built on self success. I want to continue. I want to just give you a shout out to all you male and females that are out there doing your thing, being entrepreneurs, and keeping yourself self sufficient. Keep doing what you do, and don't forget to keep bringing it back to the community, okay? Just passing it on.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. All right, now we can get to the, what the show is about.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, I don't know how y'all deal with bullying supervisors, but throughout my experiences and working for people, which I totally hate, but I still carry myself in a professional manner when I'm dealing with assholes who abuse their power. What I have tended to do in the past when I came across supervisors like this, to always make sure I record everything that happens as far as when I'm dealing with that supervisor who's the asshole.
Even audio?
No, I don't record them, but you just write stuff down,
document,
and make sure other people heard. Sometimes that helps. But I always kept it honest. With them kind of people, because you know what? Sometimes they don't know how to take you. Mm-hmm. When they come to you and they doing they micromanaging and shit. Jamil, you forgot to do this and that? And I turn around and say, yeah, I actually did forget. Because you know what? I only got 2 feet, two hands.
You're not a robot.
Such and such. Yeah. 3 of my coworkers called out. It's only me today. I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah. Right.
There's no way they can be mad at you for saying that. Some people let these supervisors force them into depression, force them into getting another job. Sometimes when it do get that bad, it's not worth it. Yeah, you do gotta walk away from that job. But sometimes that walk away isn't easy, especially when you got kids to feed, you got bills to pay. You know what I'm saying? Right.
But here's the thing too: if they see that they can intimidate you, you understand what I'm saying? Oh, then they gonna play you like a daggone dodgeball, okay?
Yeah.
Never sweat. Never let it. Like my dad used to always say, never let them see you sweat. My dad used to always say, never let nobody take you off your square. Life is like a game of chess. Anyway, getting back to the supervisors, they, like I used to always tell, some of my supervisors, they want to come off on this boss, I'm your boss, you do what I say, and this and that. And I had to check them, Look, no, you're not my boss. I have one boss, and that's the man above, that's God. You're not my boss. You are a supervisor. You are to supervise me in what I am supposed to do. Guide me. You understand what I'm saying? But you're not my boss. So let's get this out the way right now. I had to sit up and tell them. So they look at me and they laugh. Oh, Miss Queenie, you this, you that. No, I'm real. I keep it 100. Because when you set the tone right then and there, they ain't gonna mess with you no more. You understand what I'm saying? You just gotta put them in a place where you're not gonna be disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying? You want to talk to them a way that, on a professional way. And once they see that you're level-headed and they can't come to you that way, they're not going to come to you that way.
Yeah, and the most important thing is never give them something for them to come at you for.
Yeah.
Always do your job. You know what I'm saying? Always be on point.
Always be
and be knowledgeable of your duties. And you know what?
I'm always also, 1 step ahead.
You gotta be. When you dealing with these kind of supervisors / managers, it's almost like you really dealing with a bully out on the street.
Yeah.
Like you said, you gotta never let them sweat and step to them straight forward.
Yeah. draw,
you know what I'm
they gotta
saying?
draw
But
that
always
line.
keep it in a professional manner
professional way and
because
speak to them
you
in a
know
professional way.
they'll get you on that.
Yeah,
you was
they wanna write you up,
insubordinated,
yeah.
you know, for you talking a certain kind of way. They'll get you on that. Always keep your cool when you dealing with them because you know that once they see they got you. They got you. Hold on. Let me tell you this. I
just want to say the key thing that you did say: be knowledgeable of your job.
Yeah,
especially if you have a union, and if you coming into work every day, and you don't know your rights as a worker, and they know that you don't know your rights as a worker, they got you.
They got you.
So people, please be
especially
knowledgeable.
in Pennsylvania,
please.
because you know this is a state is at will.
Yes.
Without a union,
yes.
is at will.
So please be knowledgeable of your work condition, which you know, your rights as an employee, your rights as you being in a union. Please know everything. You got to read. I see a lot of our people, they get fired.
Read their manual.
They don't read the manual.
They don't read the manual.
I talked to one person. I said, did you know? I said, did you know they can't do this to you? They was like, no, I didn't know. I said, did you read the manual? Oh, no, I threw that thing in it. And I said, yeah. And guess what? That person got fired later on down the line.
Yeah, it's important that you read that manual. I'm going to tell you, the first thing I do when I do get a job, a new job, whatever, is I read the manual and I down there study my list of job, you know, the job duties.
Yeah.
Because once you know all your job duties and you got that down pat and you actually making sure you do those job duties that's entailed for you to do, and you doing it consistently every day, they can't really touch you. You know what I'm saying? I had a supervisor, right, at my, you know, old job.
Right.
She came to me, you know, and for those who don't know, I work in the medical field, you know. She came to me and, you know, we was in the exam room. She came to me with her fist balled up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's a female. Too.
Okay, hold up. The supervisor, she came to you.
Yeah, not with her fist up.
Oh,
with her fist down by her side.
Oh, like the emoji when they had an emoji like that.
Oh, you silly.
They had a fist like this, like.
Yo, you silly.
Oh, but anyway, no, that's disrespect. That's very unprofessional of her.
Yeah, it's intimidation. But look. She told me, she said, today you're going to be scrubbing those walls.
Really? Yeah, now she threatening you.
Scrubbing walls. I said, hold up. Excuse me. Wait a minute. Because she closed the door on me.
Was she playing? Oh, she closed the door.
On
oh, she was serious. No, she didn't. Yeah. Ooh, couldn't be me.
Yeah. So, inside I'm steaming, right? So, I said, excuse me? She said, you're gonna wash the walls. These walls in here are dirty in the exam rooms, and you're gonna do some scrubbing today. You know, all these exam rooms is dirty. But I said,
it's not in my job description.
It's not in my job description.
Hello.
And that's when she closed the door on me. She said, "Listen, you don't know. I talk to the medical director every day. She wants to get rid of you." And I actually laughed like that. I actually smirked because you know what? Now at that moment, I knew I had her.
Right.
I'm like,
because she thought you didn't know your job.
Yeah.
She think that she can just tell you anything.
Yeah, tell me anything. And then, you know, her fist still balled up.
Oh,
you know.
like the emoji.
Yeah, crazy, yo. You know what I'm saying? And you know, also, you know, that's one story of mine.
That's not good. That's not good. See, you can get her right there. You could have went. Yeah. Because number one, she did not bring in another person. No. You understand what I'm saying? To witness what she had to say to you. Because she could have brought another supervisor in. You understand what I'm saying?
Nah, she tried to do some shit on this.
Of course. Because then it will be your word against hers. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, they're going to take her word. Yeah. So she intimidated. That was an intimidation.
Look, I went over top of her head. I wrote the medical director a letter. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you more about her. When I need to call out or need to call her, her phone to let her know I'm running late or whatever. She always made sure her dude answered the phone. So when her dude answered the phone,
what do you mean her dude?
Her dude, boyfriend or whatever.
Also, wait a minute, hold up, you had to call her personal cell phone?
It's supposed to be the job phone, but that's what I'm saying. It's her job phone. Why is her dude answering
the phone?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow.
He answering the phone like, "Yo, who this?" I said, what? Who is this? You know what I'm saying?
So that's what I'm saying.
Looking
She
for my
using
supervisor.
the job phone
So
as a person.
You know, I can hear him slamming the phone saying, yo,
God.
this nigga on the phone.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? You know, very unprofessional.
Yes.
So I wrote down all this stuff.
Yes.
And I, typed a letter
it.
to the medical director. I went over top right here.
And
I
what they
forced
say.
a meeting.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, good for
And,
you.
I ain't back down from that.
And what she said?
She...
What was the outcome?
The outcome, honestly, with that situation, the all in all, the medical director wound up agreeing with her.
Of course.
Some bull crap.
But they all stick together.
But you know what? She wound up getting herself fired because she actually put her hands on her doctor. Like, she pushed the doctor somehow, and the doctor went upstairs, and it was a wrap. Because she kept on getting...
bullying.
Several people. You know what I'm saying?
So what goes around, come around.
Yeah, she got it. Also, I want to, say this for the females. Don't think because you got that supervisor or manager, he giving you that eye and doing that, LL Cool J licking his lips, rubbing his hands together with the Birdman hand rub, saying, what you want for lunch today?
That's sexual harassment, ladies.
Yeah, but you know what? Some women...
they like it.
Yeah, they like it, right? And then, after a while, when he pop them, and he disrespectful him, talking about, how he smashed her in the back of his truck, and she ain't shit. She got, you know what I'm saying? Like, ladies, listen. Don't fall for that. You know what I'm saying?
Don't fall for it. Especially when they call you. Let me tell you something. Especially if you already know that your male supervisor / manager has a history of, sexual harassing women. Always bring someone else in there to witness. Regardless if it's another coworker, if it's another supervisor, you have that right. You understand what I'm saying? Because I just want to share with you in the past with my experience. I was in transportation at the time, and this supervisor, he will always want to get fresh with the women. Okay, some women will go for it. Like, he would want to take them out after work for dinner, drinks, or whatever. And guess what, y'all? He was a minister.
Damn.
A minister or what? So anyway.
Oh shit.
So anyway, fast forwarding, he got in trouble. He had a lot of sexual harassment, on him, cases on him, because women were coming forward. Women was not backing down. Women was not. They were tired of it. And he came in here. He called me into the office one time, and he says, so and so. I said, wait a minute. First of all, is this work related? Because if it's not work related, I don't want to hear anything that you have to say. And I had brought another employee in with me because I told this employee I feel very uncomfortable. And I also documented everything that he had said to me. I put the time, the date, everything that he said, and I had the witness with me. You understand what I'm saying? And I brought it to another manager's attention. And guess what? They said, oh yeah, we know, we're aware of this. So wait a minute. They was like, this is number case 101. You hear me? Case number 101. Well, you would have thought, because he had so many cases against him, that he would be fired, terminated, gone. No, he's still there. Because they, you know what? They brush stuff underneath the table. And it's not fair. But guess what? Eventually, later on, a few years down, years later, after I wasn't even here anymore, he got terminated. Because it had to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, wow.
That's how big it was. Because he had, brought on more cases.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous. And, hey, someone said, this gotta stop. So, ladies, men out there, my kings and queens, never be hush mouth about if, you feel as though this your supervisor or manager is intimidating you or talking, not professionally to you. Document it. Always document everything that you do. Okay? You have that right to do. You can also, some people don't like to audio because they say that's not, that's against the other person's rights to do audio. You know how you